What's up, everyone? It's Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with your free NHL Parlay for Saturday, April 23rd, 2022. But before we get to that free pick or those free picks, I should let you know, Pickdawgz.com, we're doing it bigger and better than anyone else. Got more free pick videos on our channel than you'll find anywhere else on YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed and also take advantage of our free Sportsbook bonus offer, the link in the description of this video below. Well, Friday's parlay didn't go as planned. I don't know what the Washington Capitals were doing. Couldn't get the job done. They only scored 2. We had the team total over 3.5. Did get the Edmonton Oilers, so if you played that single, you had a nice little payout there. But if you played the parlay, couldn't hit the two-legger. But that's fine. We're going to come back to it. We're going to do something a little bit different. I appreciate you guys checking out the videos, and I found something that I like in the afternoon. So we're going to go 2 parlays here. We're going to go with an early parlay. If you can catch this video early enough, the first one is a 12:30 p.m. start. It's the afternoon action, so we'll get this one. Then I got a primetime parlay for you guys as well. So even if you miss out on the early parlay, fear not. We've got something for the evening action for you as well. But the first leg of the early parlay, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Sabres on the money line at plus 130. You know, the thing about the New York Islanders is that, yes, it's a solid New York Islanders team, but we saw the Islanders sort of have that hangover playing the New York Rangers. They gave up 6 goals in it for a team that's usually defense first and usually plays pretty good defense, regardless of if there's nothing for them left to play for or not. You know, and the Islanders just looked lifeless there, and we saw the Rangers take full advantage. Now the Buffalo Sabres, they're not making the playoffs either, but they've known they're not making the playoffs for some time, and that hasn't stopped the Buffalo Sabres from playing a lot of teams tough in their last few games. You know, they've won, I believe it's 4 of their last 5 that they've won coming into this matchup. And prior to the little winning run that they've been on, they played teams like Florida tough. I think they scored 3 on Florida and a 5-3 loss. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes. They almost swept the home and home with the Carolina Hurricanes had they not blown a lead in that game. But the Sabres, winners of 3 in a row. I'm just looking at them now, 3 in a row, and 4 of their last 5. Now, granted, you're going to call out, they beat the Devils and the Philadelphia Flyers twice, but they also have a win over the Leafs there, and like I said, they've been playing some tougher teams, a lot tougher, and I think that there is value here. Maybe it's just me. I'm not laying minus 149, minus 150 with an Islanders team that just looked dead against the against the Rangers, excuse me. The Sabres playing far better hockey here. I'm going to go with the Sabres plus 130. Leg 2 of the early parlay, I'm going to take the Carolina Hurricanes in regulation at minus 135. This one's going to be simple. Anyone who knows me knows I do not trust this New Jersey Devils team as far as I can throw them. And simply put, the Hurricanes are the better team and the only team with something to play for here. They're still trying to lock up the Metro division here. And while the Hurricanes haven't had their best appearances as of late, the bottom line is that they are the better team here, and the New Jersey Devils find different ways to lose different games all the time. I just think the Carolina Hurricanes find a way to get the job done inside 60 minutes. We're not chasing a puck line. Yeah, the puck line has some solid value there, but minus 135 with the Hurricanes to get the job done inside of 60 minutes. Still a great value here, just in case, you're only up by 1 late. You don't want to have to be sweating out an empty netter, even though we caught it with the Hurricanes, not that long ago. So we'll take the Carolina Hurricanes in regulation at minus 135. And the third leg of the early parlay, I'm going to take the New York Rangers on the money line. Basically, a lot of the same reasons. They're trying to keep pace with the Carolina Hurricanes for the top spot in the Metro. They're trying to actually pull ahead of the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, I know Boston is a solid team, and deservedly so. The Bruins are going to get a lot of respect because they have been playing fairly well on home ice this year, 23-13-2. But like I said, the Rangers right now just playing the better hockey. They've won 4 in a row and 7 of their last 8. They appear to be peaking at just the right time. And the Boston Bruins have lost 4 of their last 6. They're coming off of a 4-0 loss at the hands of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And they had won games over the Blues and Penguins again before that. But again, this is a Boston team that has struggled in certain spots, and they've scored 2 goals or less in 6 of their last 7 games. And with the way the Rangers have been playing defense and finding the back of the net with a lot of consistency, I got to go with the Rangers here at plus 110. So those are going to be the 3 legs of the early parlay, kicking off at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. The Buffalo Sabres on the money line at plus 130. The Carolina Hurricanes in regulation at minus 135. And the New York Rangers on the money line at plus 110. Time of this recording, You're getting approximate parlay odds of plus 740. A nice way to start your Saturday if this one hits. And again, I always say this: fade or tail at your own risk. If you don't like stuff that's in the parlay, or if you're on the other side of a game, you can pick it out and you can put in something else, or you can play each leg individually. You can round robin them and play the 2-leg parlay combinations. Either way, tons of options. I'm just throwing this out there as a 3-leg parlay. Personally, this is one that I'm probably going to have a couple bucks on as well. Now let's get to the late parlay, the prime time parlay, kicking off at 7 p.m. Eastern time. The first leg of the parlay, well, we're going to go with the St. Louis Blues team total over 3.5. Now, like I said, I know the Washington Capitals had their issues against the Arizona Coyotes, and the Coyotes, a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while. The Coyotes weren't going to get blown out every single game, but it still doesn't change the fact that now the losing streak is up to 9 games for the Coyotes, and over that 9-game stretch, the Coyotes have allowed 49 goals. So we're looking at around 5.5 goals per game. And while the St. Louis Blues have cooled off from the scoring, they've only scored 5 goals in their last 2 games. That was still a Blues team that had been pouring on the goals. 4 or more goals in the previous 8 games during this win streak, and the point streak is still going for the Blues as well. I just think the Blues are the far better team here. They're trying to lock up home ice in their first round series against the Minnesota Wild, and I think that we have to get a solid performance from the Blues in this one. I just think there's also going to be some tired legs for the Arizona Coyotes here. So give me the St. Louis Blues team total over 3.5 at -150. I think we can easily get to 4 goals with the Blues here. Leg 2 of the primetime parlay, I'm going to go with the LA Kings, the Anaheim Ducks, under 6. This is a division game. These two teams do not like each other. The last 2 meetings have both been lower scoring battles, especially for Anaheim, who I believe have been held to 1 goal in each of the last 2. Last meeting was a 2-1 victory for the LA Kings, and I just think this could be a similar matchup. I could see this one being 3-2, maybe even 2-1. Now, the under 6-2 in the last 8 meetings between these two teams. The Kings have allowed 1 goal to the Ducks in each of the last 3 games. And we're seeing the Kings start to play some decent defensive hockey once again. And I just think that the Kings, they're going to be able to hold the Anaheim Ducks under their thumb. But I also don't expect the Kings to have a runaway here. So I'm going to take the under 6. And like I said, what I think is a 3-2, maybe even a 2-1 game at most in this one. The third leg of the parlay is going to be the Vancouver Canucks and Calgary Flames over 6. Now, there is a little bit of a wrinkle here because, the Calgary Flames have clinched the division. So really all they're playing for at this point is momentum. And the Vancouver Canucks desperately need this game. They're trying to keep pace in the wild card hunt. There are not many opportunities for the Canucks to leapfrog teams. They're still 4 points out of the second wild card spot with 4 games to go. So they need to make moves. And I think that we're going to see an inspired effort offensively from the Vancouver Canucks. But Thatcher Demko, it almost looks like he's starting to run out of gas a little bit. He's had issues, keeping the puck out of the net. The Vancouver Canucks have had defensive issues, for the last little bit. But they're 6-0-2 to the over in their last 8. And the only reason that is not 8 straight overs is because the games that they were playing, the San Jose Sharks and the Arizona Coyotes, the Coyotes and Sharks couldn't contribute to the total. I think they got 2 goals from the Sharks and a 4-2 Canucks win there, and I think the Canucks beat the Coyotes 5-1. Both of those had totals of 6, obviously. And, Vancouver did their job. So I think it's going to be a higher scoring game here. We all know the offensive firepower that the Calgary Flames have, like Johnny Gaudreau, Elias Lindholm. I think this is just going to be a 4-3 game, maybe even 5-4. I think it's just going to be a fun game to watch. So give me the over 6 there. I think at worst we get a push. And the last leg of the parlay, it's going to be an interesting one for a lot of folks, but I love the value here. I'm going to take the Nashville Predators on the money line at plus 145. Reason being, the Tampa Bay Lightning, we all know, 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. They have all the talent in the world. They've got Andrei Vasilevsky in net. They've got Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov when he decides to play, Braden Point. This is a very good Tampa Bay team. The thing is that Tampa Bay has a back-to-back. This is game 1 of the back-to-back. Game 2 sees Tampa Bay take on the division-leading Florida Panthers in a rivalry game. I have to think that Vasilevsky's probably going to be used for that game, which means that if we're going to go on normal rest for Vasilevsky, not wear him out in back-to-back starts when he's already been average in the last, I'd say, month and a half to begin with by his own standards, We could see Brian Elliott getting the start here, and Brian Elliott is the definition of a backup, I think. He is capable of pulling out a solid performance here and there, but he is not Andrei Vasilevsky. He is definitely a bit of a step down for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Nashville, they need this win. They're trying to put their stamp on the first wild card spot in the Western Conference. There's just a ton more to play for here if you are the Nashville Predators. And honestly, I would think that if the Lightning were going to be as dominant as one would think they would be in this game, they'd be a lot more than a minus 165 favorite. I think the books are seeing what I'm seeing, and that's probably that Brian Elliott gets the start here, and Vasilevsky starts Sunday against the Florida Panthers. So give me the Nashville Predators on the money line at plus 145. That's going to be your 4-leg parlay for primetime. Again, if you don't like playing 4-leg parlays, or there's something in here that you're not a fan of, or you want to just pick and choose from it, by all means, be my guest. Pick if you pick like 2 legs here, go for it. Round robin them, play them straight individually. Do whatever you so please, to each their own. But for this parlay, the St. Louis Blues team total over 3.5 at minus 150. The LA Kings Anaheim Ducks under 6 at minus 115. The Vancouver Canucks Calgary Flames over 6 at minus 135. And the Nashville Predators on the money line at plus 145. Nice way to close out your Saturday with a plus 1228 parlay. Not bad at all. But anyways, if you're looking for best bets from myself or any of our other world-class handicappers, check out Pick Dawgz Premium. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. Let's cash some winners.